Hello, my name is Jiva. Welcome back to my channel. If today is your first time joining us here, welcome, feel at ease. If you're a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you for coming back again. So as I mentioned in my last video a while back, today we'll be talking about stocks, and I'm also sorry for being gone for so long. I wasn't feeling well for some time, and so I had to get better. So generally, a stock is used to describe ownership certificates in a company. So let's say MTN, Ghana Brewery, or several companies in Ghana, for example, or even across the world, they will sell stocks or they will sell ownership certificates in the company so as to generate revenue for its expansion or its growth. So for several reasons. So stock is one of the ways of investing or putting money away so that you can get returns on investments later on down the line in the future. So you could do, like we talked about earlier, the treasury bills or the bonds, or you could also buy a stock, or you could get some savings. So in Ghana, the Ghana Stock Exchange is the principal stock exchange holder for Ghanaians. So it's been in the country, or it was set up in the country in 1989, and it currently has 42 equities, 37 from companies, and 2 corporate bonds listed. So basically, if you want any information about the Ghana Stock Exchange, I'll put a link to their website in the drop down menu below, or also on the screen, so that you could check them out and find out the companies that are listed. So to be able to purchase stocks in Ghana, you will need to open an account with the Central Security Depository, which is the CSD. So in Ghana, before you buy treasury bills or even bonds, and just like with stock markets, you need to have an account open with a CSD, which will regulate how much money or how much investments a person is. So to be able to buy these stocks, after you have the CSD number, which you can get from your brokerage where you would purchase the stocks at, then you can register to buy, then you can go ahead and purchase these stocks. So in Ghana, with Ghana Stock Exchange, you don't need to be a Ghanaian or resident in Ghana to be able to buy these stocks. Foreigners and people not resident in Ghana can't purchase stocks on the Ghana Stock Exchange. The only caveat is that there are some restrictions on how many stocks foreigners, for example, can purchase on the Ghana Stock Exchange. So you can engage your brokerage firm or do more research on what these caveats or these regulations are if you're a foreigner or a non-Ghanaian interested in buying stocks from the Ghana Stock Exchange market. To be able to buy stocks in Ghana, you need to purchase through a licensed brokerage firm. Some of the accredited firms, as at April 2021 in Ghana, include SIC, Prudential, CDH Investments, Databank Ghana, IC Securities, and several others. You can find a complete list or the most updated list of accredited brokerage firms also on the GSE market. But if you have any questions, you can just Google stock brokerage firms on the Google search engine, and it will give you recommendations of some institutions that currently sell or help their customers purchase stocks in Ghana. So these are the ones that I know. So tips for buying stocks. Why you need to buy stocks. Stocks are just another means of savings or putting money down now for your future. But there are certain rules that make stock markets a bit different as from treasury bills. With most investments, just like the stock market, stock purchases, you have to think long term. To be able to get as much return on your investment and to be able to give your stocks or your savings their chance to grow, you need to think of you need to think of your investment being a long term investment. You shouldn't think of it as, oh, this is something I'm going to get 100% or 20% within the next month or two. Is really sometimes not realistic. So you need to think about what is realistic and how long you are willing to let the time be between when you purchase the stocks and when you sell the stocks. You can also sell your stocks through the same brokerage firms that you buy your stocks in, if I didn't mention that earlier. So before you buy stocks in the Ghanaian market, things that you should think about or things that you should have in mind is that you should have to decide on which stock markets, which companies, sorry, in the stock markets you want to invest in. Even if you would use a brokerage firm to purchase the stocks on your behalf, which is what most company is what is allowed in Ghana, you still need to know how the companies on the stock exchange markets, for example, are performing. You have to spend some time maybe going through the annual reports to see how profitable or otherwise that company is, and what the returns or dividends are of that company, the opportunities or the growth patterns of that company. You obviously don't want to invest in a company that is going to fold or going to go bankrupt in the next few months. You want something that's going to be able to stick around and grow and become competitive in the market, become maybe an industrial you want something that's going to become maybe an industry's front runner, so that when you sell the stocks later on in life, you will be able to get some monies out of it, or some money out of it. You also need to know you also need to choose an investing broker. So you need to know which company you want to do the purchasing of the stocks on your behalf, and why you are choosing that company. You need to take into consideration the work ethic, for example, of that company, how much you trust them or their trustworthiness, the experience in the market, and also you also have to take into consideration the commissions or the management fees that these companies charge, because all that contributes to how much at the end of the day you actually invest in. So you want to be sure that you are getting a good deal as much as possible, and you are not investing blindly without knowing the right company or brokerage firm that you should ask to do the stock market purchasing on your behalf. And you also need to know the difference between stocks and mutual funds. So stocks are usually say investments in a single company. So let's say you buy stocks in MTN, or you buy stocks in Finance, or you buy stocks in Guinness Ghana. But mutual funds is normally like a fund or pooled fund from several people that invest in multiple companies at the same time. So you need to know these two. You need to decide if you just want to buy stocks, or you want to put your money towards a mutual fund, for example. So you need to know the difference between the two. And one thing you also need to have in mind before you do any investment is you need to set a budget for your stock investment. How much are you willing to put into that stock investment? You need to know if you are saving for it to buy some stocks, or if you are just putting down maybe your some money you made in a project into the purchase of stocks. You always need to know what you can afford and how much you can put into that. Last but not the least, one of the most important things you can do is to manage your stock portfolio. Always be on top of how much you have in your stocks, how your stocks are performing, how much money you've made, for example, so that you are not being taken for granted by your brokerage firm, for example. You need to be on top of your game. It is your money, it is your investment, and it is your future. So you have to make sure that you are always aware of how much it is bringing in versus how much is going out in terms of commission or management fees. So you always need to keep that in mind. One thing that I also have to mention is that there are some stocks, for example, where the companies will pay dividends to the stockholders or the investors at the end of every quarter, or every 6 months, or every year. So you need to have that discussion also with your brokerage firm to find out what the stock you are investing in, how they pay dividends, for example. So for example, with the MTN IPO that went live a couple of years ago, I bought some stocks, or some shares in some shares in MTN, and every quarter or so they pay me a certain percentage or dividend on that shares that I purchased as compared to the profit that the company make. So understanding so that you would know if your company pays dividends, and if they pay, where you can get that dividend sent to you at. So always good to have that in mind. Some stocks you can currently purchase from or trade in on the Ghana Stock Exchange. There are some banks, so you can purchase Access Bank, ADB, Cal Bank, Standard Chartered, and several other banks. You can also buy stocks in MTN, purchase buying company, which is a cocoa buying company in Ghana. You can also buy stocks in Goil Ghana, the government or state-owned oil company, and you can also buy shares in Guinness and several other companies. There are a lot of them on the listed companies on the Ghana Stock Exchange market that you can choose from. So that's basically a short rundown for stocks and purchasing stocks in Ghana. There is so much you can do with investments in Ghana, and because the market is continuously growing and we haven't peaked, there's opportunity to make so much profit and so much positive return on your investment. All you need to do is to start. You don't need a lot of money to start. You don't need to have hundreds and thousands of CDs to start. Maybe a couple of thousands, maybe 2,000, maybe 3,000, maybe 4,000. If you can't even do 10,000, which is amazing. But you just have to put in your mind that, okay, I want to save and buy some stocks and buy these stocks. You can decide to maybe save up a couple of months and put that money into your stock, but you always need to know which stocks you're investing in and why you're investing in it. It has to be long term. So you could think of it being maybe your 10-year investment in stocks, or your retirement, a part of your retirement packages that you are just working towards, so that when you retire you have several streams of income coming from maybe treasury bills, coming from stocks, coming from mutual funds, and all the others, so that you can pull this information and use it. Thank you so much for joining us today.